Boker Tov, Rabbi Prague.
Boker Tov, Boker Tov. So
Boker
what's doing with Iran?
They're just the same as yesterday. It is bombed overnight, but it's hard to read. There's not a lot of information, but we'll see.
Bombing what? Why didn't they bomb it 2 months ago? I mean, so it's military installation. What does it mean?
No. Hi, Eli.
And our brothers and sisters in Israel are scared.
Right.
A few weeks of peace. Eli, good morning.
Good morning.
Hashem. How is the summer coming along, Eli?
So very good, very good. Happens to be.
You got a very good Sunday.
No, I feel good. Rabbi Scav is busy this morning with the Milah, so joining the class.
Which Masechet are you learning? Still
Gittin? No, because we're doing Ketuvot Rabbi Maselton, so we switched to Gittin.
Oh, Yafemo, you started from the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So where are you holding the Vav already?
Dal.
Ishma, beautiful.
Yeah, I have to. We do a lot of review with the Rabbi Scav. That's very slowly, a lot of review.
No, but this is the right way. Way. Yesterday we spent time, Eli, on the pasuk Vayitzbeu al Midian. They messed on Midian. Kasher tziva Hashem. What is Kasher tziva Hashem? We saw yesterday in Rambam, in Chot Melachim, that when the Jewish army is putting a siege on a city, you have to leave one of the ways open to let the soldiers run away. Mm-hmm. And the Rambam says, you learn it out from this pasuk. What do you learn out? That's because the Torah says so. And we saw yesterday Ramban in Chumash brings two reasons. One is a very practical reason, because if you put a siege and people feel that they have no way out, they'll fight till the last breath. The other reason is, Ramban says to teach us mercy. We saw yesterday that the Ramban takes it so seriously, he's listing it. It's one of the mitzvot asay that the Rambam forgot to mention. We saw yesterday in the Megillat Esther, the reason why the Rambam is not listing it as a separate mitzvah, it's either because the Rambam held it's part of the other details of mitzvot milchama. There are many details. The Kohen has to make announcements, who is going, who is not going. This is one of the dinim. Or like the Meshech Chochmah says, it's not a mitzvah. The Torah wants to save Jewish lives. This is why you do it. So I would like to show you the Mareh Mekomot I took from the Sefer of Menchat Asher of Rabbi Weiss, other places that we are learning halachot from Chumash. But listen to fascinating. If you have access, go to Sefer Shoftim, Hilchot Mamrim, all the way at the end, Perek Zayin here. Okay, fine. Perek Zayin Halacha Yudal. Sefer Shoftim Hilchot Mamrim, Perek Zayin Halacha Yudal. Let me give you the background to this Rambam. Rabbi Weiss says many years ago, there was a famous case in Israel. It is a husband murdered his wife. Then he wants to inherit his wife. This was a case in court. Eli, can you find a reason why to tell him? I mean, obviously he's going to jail, but he wants to inherit his wife. So the judge, the non-religious judge, was asking Rabbi Weiss, what do you think? I mean, understand this, it's a fascinating case, because if you are stupid enough to go by the letter of the law, of course he inherits his wife. His wife died, so the husband takes the money. So listen to something fascinating. If you have Larry, did you open it? Perek Zayin Halacha Yud Dalet Milchot Mamrim, Larry?
Yes, you Dalit, yes.
Yud Dalet. Listen to this. Ben Sorer Umoreh, we all know Ben Sorer Umoreh. הרי הוא ככל הרוגי בית דין, שממונם לא יורשיהם. If this Ben Sorer Umoreh left money, who inherits him? His father. See, listen to the Rambam. שאף על פי שאביו גרם לו סקילה, even though he is being stoned, and the father is definitely part of it. Rani, why is it part of it? The parents...
Because the parents are at fault in some way, right?
The parents have a choice to forgive him. You realize
Oh, I see.
they bring him to court.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, they have to bring him to court twice. When he does it the first time, then we give him a warning, then we bring him again. Says the Rambam, שאף על פי שאביו גרם לו סקילה, you hear? הרי הוא יורש כל נכסיו. Here is a case, the father, look at the Radbaz. You see, Radbaz is a commentator of the Rambam. Listen to the Radbaz. ואם תאמר, Radbaz was a rabbi in Egypt 400 years ago, 550. ואם תאמר, מה למימרה? וכי בר קשא דמטה, let the government inherit the money. He is his father, his mother, of course. Says the Radbaz, ויש לומר, וסלקה דעתה חמינה, I would have thought, כיוון שאין לו יורש, אלא אביו. I mean, the only one to inherit him is the father. Because if he doesn't have a father, he can never be.
Rabbi Prague, does the issue of could I be a Ben Sorer or Moren now, even though I'm married, and if hypothetically my parents were alive?
There's a certain age requirement, only certain, right?
Only time.
12 and 12 and a half or something?
The only time is from the age of 13, puberty signs, in the next 3 months, which means, I mean, you are in your family, if you have mevinim bekochot hanefesh. See, a kid in this age should be very appreciative to his parents, respectful to his parents, and a kid at this age steals money from his father to buy meat and cheap wine and parties around the only time in his life. If he's 11 years, if he's 13 and 6 months, and not become Ben Sorer Umoreh. So now, says the Radbaz, סלקא דעתא חמינא כיוון שאין לו יורש אלא אביו. I mean, he must have a father, because if he doesn't have a father, he cannot be Ben Sorer Umoreh. Neichush.
Well, what's the chance that a kid 13 to 13 and 6 months has anything valuable to be a Yoresh? And where
No, he's a thief. He's stealing money.
Oh, you're asking a good question. His grandfather was a multi-millionaire.
All right, I figured, okay, but...
Put money aside for him. Neichush, please listen to the Radbaz. Shema einav natan b'mamono. Here it is. Maybe the father wants to take the money away from the son. And therefore, lo machalo, this is why he's not forgiving him. Again.
So the father may have ulterior motive, he's saying.
Have to come to court and to complain. The neinu zeh sorer umoreh. And then we shomea bekolenu zolel besobeh. And we brought him to court once. We gave him a warning. He got 39 lashes the first time. He's doing it the second time. Maybe the reason why the father is not forgiving him is because he wants to inherit the money. לפיכך לא מאכל ונזכר, וליתקנו רבנן דלא ירשנו אביו. Perhaps the rabbis should establish that the father cannot get the money. I'm just using an example, okay? Remember, it's only an example. A regular Kohen is permitted to marry a widow. Kohen Gadol cannot marry a widow or divorcee. Only the Rishonim can say it, but they do say it. So you know why? Because if Kohen Gadol would be permitted to marry a widow, since the Kohen Gadol has power, and the power is he has Shema Meforash, and he goes on Yom Kippur to Kodesh HaKodeshim, and he is attracted to a woman that is married, he would pray that the husband should die.
Wow.
You imagine this is a Kohen Gadol, not at the time of the Second Temple, you paid money for it. The answer is the inner desires of people are so strong that sometimes you don't realize what you're doing. Here it is. Are you attached? You're bringing your son to be the reason is he wants to inherit a son. Perhaps we should establish that he's not inheriting the money. Kamash Malan, the Locha Ishinam Lach, the Aviv, Yoshua. It's a fascinating analysis. You listen. Yeah, I'll give you another example of this week's parasha, Rani. Bnei Gad of Bnei Reuven and the book have a very logical claim. We, Gad and Reuven, we have more bakar and son, more than all the other shvatim. We need a much bigger land. If we inherit, whatever we inherit, it's not enough. Let us take Ever Hayarden, a very big piece of land. This way our brothers and sisters in Israel will get more. Logically, or not? Very logically. Fine. But Chachamim are saying that deep inside, of course what they're saying makes sense logically. They wanted to raise and to have many more. Yes. So it's not simply, it's more comfortable. More than that, if you look more, we might show it inside. If you look in Parashat Bezot HaBeracha, it says by God, Vayar Kisham Rishit Mechokek Safur. Where is Moshe Rabbeinu buried? In the land of God. Somehow, Rashi says, they knew that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be buried there. This is why they want this piece of land.
Wow.
They are tzaddikim, no? Chazal are rebuking them. You love money. This is the main reason.
That's right. The whole thing was about mammon and the
You
tzon.
love money to the point that you are willing to give up a share in Israel. How do we know it? If you look in Tanakh, who are the first ones to be taken away by the king of Ashur in the end of Sefer Melachim to exile? Who is that? The God of Bnei Reuven, which means deep inside, it shows that you are not so connected to Israel. Very often, externally, we have a very good explanation why we do this, why we do that, why. But deep in it takes here. So this is a good example here. Rabbi Weiss told him here, this is a good example. But now I thought that you'll bring a biblical story. Achav is the king of Israel. He loves a piece of land.
Yeah, okay.
That belongs to Nevot. In the text, it's not so clear, but Chazal tell us that he legally was a relative. He could have inherited it also. He comes and his wife makes up a plot. She hires two witnesses, testify that this man did something terrible, He's been executed legally by the court. And Achav joyfully is walking into this piece of land. Eliyahu Hanavi met him the first time that
Haratzachta v'gam yarashta.
you murdered him and you want to inherit. I mean, if you really listen how it sounds, do you really believe that you can kill someone and get his land? And of course, the Navi tells him, on this piece of land, the dogs are going.
Yilak l'kua klavim.
It's so frightening, and it happened because when Achav was injured in the war and was killed, his blood stained his chariot.
And then Izebel had the same thing.
And they washed it, and the dogs drank his blood in. The husband killed his wife, and he wants to inherit his wife. So says the judge, who cares what the legal system says? I mean,
but I never understood, if Achav was a melech, why did he go through all of that? He could have taken it lechatchila for nothing.
Very good question. So your question is a question of Tosfot in Sanhedrin on top. I think it Yud Zayin Amud Bet, and you know what Tosfot say? The king has the right to take anything he wants from anyone as long as it has to do with the government.
Oh.
He did for the army. I mean, the American government wants to pave the highway. We can force you out of your estate.
Yeah, called eminent domain.
But here he's taking it for his own pleasure. For his own pleasure, to support say he has no right.
So, Rabbi, question: are we saying that if somebody is ulterior motive, either before the fact or after the fact, the Rabbanim put in foregoing what's halakha, what's from the Doraita, the inheritance laws, they could forego that?
Rabbanim have the right sometimes to take it into account.
And it's either suspicion of ulterior motive or actually after the fact.
Otherwise, it's very, very dangerous.
See, but Rabbi Prague, let's
take any story in the Bible and say, okay,
the question is it black and white? Sometimes it seems to be opinion. I think you have, but you won't know. You have a suspicion that there's an ulterior motive. How do we know definitively that you can forego the Raita?
We don't. This is why the real great rabbis never interfere. And if they are forced to interfere, they are very, very hesitating.
So, but isn't that the concept of like a susiyagla Torah?
Exactly what it is.
Because on Shabbat you can't take the gechalim. You can't take the shemati kava, but might not. But they also did anyway because human nature.
Only if the rabbis are doing it collectively for the Sanhedrin.
Collectively, yeah. No individual.
I'm using an example, even though it's out of from left field, but the point is a very good point. If you remember in 1967, the first few months, I mean, the entire country was singing and dancing, and some of the wise, quote unquote, said, how can we say on Tisha B'Av, Nachem Hashem Elokeinu, et Avelei Tzion, et Avelei Yerushalayim, and Jerusalem is Avel, look, we have Yerushalayim. Can you say it now? This year also you have this effect? You never, ever, of course, one of those so-called great rabbis came up with the idea, maybe we should not say it. We should say it more than ever, yes. When we landed on the moon the first time, people started to say, maybe we should take out from Birkat HaLevana, Keshem Shani Roked Kenegdech, people have nothing better to do, but okay, this is, you have to have the very big picture and you have to wait a very long time. If you remember, even by Chanukah, you remember the Gemara? לשנה אחרת קבוע בהלל והודאה. The victory took place, everyone celebrated, that a year passed by and then Chachamim established.
What did the judge rule?
What
did the judge rule for the wife?
He doesn't say.
Yes.
He doesn't say. Now, if you want to listen to some fascinating examples. The halacha is that ein adam makne davar shelo bara olam, right? I cannot. When Yaakov is buying from Esav,
Right.
the Bechorah, so this is a famous question. How can Esav sell? So some of the Rishonim say he swore to him, he shavali, yes. This is a story in the Tanakh before the Torah was given. Now then you can buy davar shelo bara olam if the guy, yes, here the Rivash brings from the Rosh. Yaakov was promised by Lavan that all the newborns from a certain type belongs to him. Legally, what Inyan? The answer is, if I'm walking to you and you have to pay me, says the Ktsot HaChoshen. So it's fascinating to see that now Tosafot in Kiddushin are asking, Tosafot. The Gemara says that it's not good to marry your daughter if she's too young, even though the Torah gave you the right to do it. Right? So Tosafot are saying, but in our times, this is 800 years ago, when the Jews, Ashkenazic Europe suffered a lot, the reason why we marry our daughters early, because we don't know what the future might bring to us. If we can support or pay for the wedding, this is to support. Okay. And to support are saying, even though it says in the Chumash, though you are second in command to marry off a younger one before the older one, yes. But we have no choice. I mean, this is Lavan speaking. Lavan is accusing himself. Why did I give you Leah? Obviously, because the Torah wrote it. This is today. Many families have this problem. Yes, they have an older daughter, and they have a younger daughter, and in some families, or sometimes the older daughter would not let her siblings date because it says so. Mi omer that you can learn from it. Go back to the Rambam. Sefer Shoftim Ilchot Avel. Look in Ilchot Avel. Sefer Shoftim Ilchot Avel. Look at Sefer Shoftim Ilchot Avel. Perek Aleph Halacha Aleph. Says Rambam, Mitzvat Aseh, you hear? This is Minat Torah, he's listing it in Mitzvot Aseh. Mitzvat Aseh להתאבל על הקרובים, שנאמר, אהרון says to Moshe, ואכלתי חטאת היום, הייתה בעיני השם, I cannot eat korban today, I'm in avilut. Says the Rambam, please listen, ואין avilut מן התורה, אלא ביום ראשון בלבד, שהוא יום המיטה ויום הקבורה. Only if the burial and the death are on the same day, which was the custom, אבל שאר השבעה אינם דין תורה. Listen carefully, we, all over the world, yes, 7 days, אינם מן התורה. אף על פי שנאמר בתורה, listen to this, ויעש לאביו אבל 7 ימים, even though they were מתאבל על יעקב אבינו, 7. יוסף did it 7. ניתנה התורה ונתחדשה ההלכה. You cannot learn from what Yosef did. ומשה רבינו תיקן להם לישראל 7 ימי אבלות ו7 ימי המשתה. You the Rambam?
Well, how do we learn the one day? How do we learn the halacha of one day on the day of burial? How does that we learn that from the pasuk?
What is Aaron telling Moshe? Moshe Rabbeinu was upset. How come the Seir of Rosh Chodesh was burned? But Seir HaChatat, Moshe is upset. Aaron answers him, V'achalti chatat hayom, if I would eat the korban today, hayita b'nei Hashem ha'menaven. Which day was it?
First day.
The day that Nadav and Abihu died, yes. And right away, it says in the Pasuk, they took away the bodies and they buried them. The Maaseh, the Rambam says that we learn the reason we have Shivat Yemei Amishteh by Chatan and Kala and 7 days of Avalut is fascinating. Moshe, you see the 7 days in our system is a unit of time. But look at the next halacha. ואם אתה יתחייב אדם באבל. Listen good. So in the Sephardic community, when people come back from the cemetery, they come back home. This is when they tell. This is when they remove the shoes. In the Ashkenazi community, right after the burial in the cemetery, you remove the shoes and someone is holding you the sneakers in the bag. Mishayisatem hagolal. Yisatem hagolal means that the casket is covered. Bayas today means it's Aval, please listen to the Rambam. אבל כל זמן שלא נקבר המת אינו אסור ודבר מן הדברים. The Rambam says before the burial, the avel is mutar. ומפני טעם זה רחץ דוד המלך. Here is a biblical story. David HaMelech lost a baby. David is very upset. רחץ דוד המלך בסך. He anointed himself. כשמת הילד, קודם שיקבר. You hear? Before, what does the Rambam say? The halachot of Aveinut kick in.
Only when they bury.
Right. באמת, if you look in halacha, the avel is asur in basar.
Right, so,
before the burial is asur bebasar v'yayin because it's disrespect. But theoretically, the Rambam is telling us.
so why then where does Onain come in? Because if he didn't do it, according to this, he should have to daven.
Onain is a special time that exempts the Avel from mitzvot. This is not the Nei Aveinut. Avel is chayav in all the mitzvot. Avel is chayav in all the mitzvot. The minute
it changes from
the moment of death till the burial, till. Here the Rambam learns halachot. From theoretically speaking, the Rambam says, okay, Shem Yishmo, it happens. Let's say a guy didn't take a haircut for a long time. He's planning to go to a haircut today.
Some do take haircuts in that period of time. I don't know who, but I've heard that.
Exactly.
So, but hypothetically, you could say that the man is an Onain. He comes to the cemetery and it changes right as he's ready to do the burial. Why doesn't he daven Shabbos?
Ready to do the burial, right when the burial took place.
So there's no Bein Hashmashot, basically.
No, this is exactly the point. The topic is a fascinating topic, psychologically also.
Yeah, so many times we've done things that the Onain have to pray twice. Does he exempt? Does he,
Okay, so over there, Eli, the question is, is the onen really chayav, but we're not permitting him to fulfill his obligation?
Yeah.
Havdalah is the best example. Havdalah, if the guy was onen Saturday night, his father died on Shabbat. Saturday night, he didn't make Havdalah.
Let him make it Sunday.
This is a
Yeah, you
That's
have
the
till
question.
Tuesday.
Or is
You
it
can do it till Tuesday, I think, right?
machlokes.
Yeah, but was he patur?
The halacha is that after the burial till Tuesday, he has to make up.
Sometimes I know women who are on end, they try to get their hair done or colored before, because they anxious how they look. Legal, not
But
legal,
at
I don't
the
know. But
funeral, they're worried how they look at the funeral?
no, it's a
No.
whole week. They're sitting down with their hair all gray or whatever it is. Yeah. Let's not go there.
There's a halacha that thank God we're not doing it, but the halacha is Hashem Yishmor. The person lost his father, and Be'emet, he was close to his father, not check. He loved his father, and he's really crying. But his father left him in his will $10 million. He has to say,
Shechianu.
but you are crying, and you are tearing your clothes. Say the great commentators who are real commentators, but deep inside in your heart, you have one cell that says, I'm a millionaire.
You schlecht.
Schlecht is right.
Yeah.
Larry, the reason I'm saying it is your question. Rabbi Isaac Sher was the master of understanding human behavior. Listen good what he says. He says, I never went to a funeral and it was raining and the Avelim did not have an umbrella or a raincoat. Your father is being buried and you are afraid to be wet now? It's your father. The answer is, I'm very sad and I'm crying, but my suit.
Well, then that's why you don't want to wear a good suit that day. You save a bad suit for
Then we
that
have a
day.
story. Somebody said that their father told put on the cheap suit because
Right, you're going to rip it. So I thought a good business, Ronnie, would be that you should sell these suits that are ready or ripped, and we'd have Avela suits.
we should
or
never
shirt.
know from all this stuff.
But
And by
Rabbi
the way,
Prague, did you once tell us that the question was someone's father died, and he says, "Could I have a shaliach to sit shiva for me?" So then he says, but not only, and if I do, could I hire? Do I have to pay a shiva call?
Yes. Rani, you are laughing, but Rabbi Feinstein said he never understood what happened to the Jews in America until someone came to him.
You told us this.
Yeah.
His father died during the busy season around Christmas. Question one is, I cannot really see Shiva, can I hire someone to sit for me? And if the answer is yes, should I come to pay a Shiva call to the guy?
oh my goodness. I thought it was a joke. It was real.
No, Rabbi Feinstein says he gave him a real look. What money means in America, you will sell your father and your mother for it.
Rabbi, you taught us on the Shechianu, though the reverse is you do not say Shechianu.
Shem Yishmor.
Yeah.
Person losing a child, says Rabbi Eger, even if he inherits a lot of money from his son, no Shechianu, because the pain is so overwhelming that there's no.
So wait a second. So should the father of the Ben Sorero Moreh, who inherits from the Ben Sorero Moreh, should he make a Shechianu, Rabbi Prague?
Good question. This is good question.
Well, because is he getting the money or not?
That's why I say if he gets the money, Ronnie.
And for which morning will answer the question.
Oh my God, these questions are just.
No, but.
It's true.
I'll give you an example. This is an example, but this is a sad reality of real life. We had two brothers in school. And the father died. The parents were separated for a year and a half, and the mother was ready to get her paper. Then her husband died. You imagine, she came to sit Shiva with her son, yes?
She didn't get a get yet.
Year and a half, she separated. Now, of course, it's legal, yeah? She was married to him. Now, we know the halacha. Benatati, no. Larry, this, you have to be very tuned into practicality.
Rabbi Prague, I'm living through a situation in family, in the business, where there are three siblings. And what had happened is the father died, but the father had different amount of grandchildren from each sibling. And one of the ones who had the least amount of children says, well, dad gave money to all your grandchildren, and I don't have that money. Now that we did this, you have to pay me back and equal it out as if.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mamash.
It's called what they call a true up. She wants now to say, Dad gave you. I said to my brother, you have 24 grandchildren. Hypothetically, mom gave each one of them $18. Now I only have one grandchild, so you're mechuyev to give me back half. I mean, but they really believe this.
Yeah. But you see, on the other hand, from Zalman Auerbach was very, very careful, especially by Avilut, that people should not take it too far. For instance, his daughter said it. His oldest daughter. She said when they got up from Shiva and the mother, and they had to go to a wedding to say Mazal Tov, not to. And she says to her father, Abba, how can I go? I mean, we just got up from the Shiva. He says to her, because this is the halacha. The Shiva is over, and your end is making a simcha. You have to get dressed, go, say Mazal Tov, and walk out.
Nice.
But if emotionally I can't. He said, this is what halacha. The halacha is guiding us. I mean, she said to her, this was a big. We learn from Chumash, ונתתי עשב בשדך לבהמתך ואכלת ושבעת. If you have a dog or a pet,
you have to feed it
you have
first.
to feed them first. Very nice. מפורש in the Chumash. However, Rivka says to Eliezer, שתה. Why didn't you give the camels first? There are few answers. One answer is this is not her camels. This is his. But Halacha L'Maaseh says the Magen Avraham, you learn from this story of Rivka that this rule, give your animal first when it comes to food. But when it comes to beverages, give to a man first, because you cannot survive without drinking.
So because it only says in Atat, the Asif, it doesn't say Asif in Mayim. Right, so it doesn't say anything about water.
I'm showing you through Chumash, there are some biblical stories that we do learn halachot, but Beit Din or the poskim have to decide when. Because if we take the liberty to learn halachot, you can learn morality, but to learn halachot is very dangerous.
So going back to what you told us with Aharon, you tell me that the Aharon gave us the halacha there, not Moshe didn't know the halacha?
Gemara learns it. Okay, then if you learn the Sugya in Masechet Shabbat, you'll see Moshe didn't understand why the Seir HaChatat was burned. This was really Seir Rosh Chodesh. And the Korbanot of the first day night. And Moshe told them in advance that today is the first day. You have to be makriv even betuma. Says Aaron to him, you're right. But this is Seir Rosh Chodesh. Seir Rosh Chodesh is not because today is the first day of inauguration. And Moshe admitted, yes, I didn't. This is Gemara.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is the beauty of the Chumash. Moshe in the Chumash, Ela gets upset 3 times, and every time he makes a slight mistake, including this week's parasha. He's upset why they kept the woman alive, and because of that, Elazar gave the halachot of how to take all the booty and make it kosher. Second is the story we just spoke about, Seir HaChatat. And the third one is, unfortunately, when Moshe gets upset when the people are demanding water, and Because of that, he strike instead of talking to them.
Yeah, but
Right.
why didn't you include in this Hayat Hashem Tiksar when he says you're not going to have enough, you're not going to have.
Correct, correct. So for me and you, this would be a perfect excuse. But Moshe, we expected Moshe, the Torah says by Yiktsof,
Right.
was really upset. He shouldn't come to this level. He can use certain language to rebuke the people, but not to come to this level. Bezrat Hashem, tomorrow morning we're learning Chumash at about 7:15. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Rabbi, just on this topic, I know Ronnie and Larry, you know the boy who kills his parents and asks mercy from the court because he's an orphan?
That's very good. That's true, right?
No, it is funny. Yes. No, but this is the type of, this is exactly, can you imagine he killed his wife and he wants the money. And legally, there's nothing you can do. The judge apparently wanted to know how to introduce something that you can block him getting the money.
So it actually was Maser Shahaya. I was actually looked in the Menendez brothers. You know the two brothers who killed their parents?
Yeah, exactly.
Did they inherit or not?
Yeah, right. This is exactly.
Yeah, exactly it. And there's a law because of your wrongdoing, you can't gain on it. They didn't allow them to inherit from the parents.
Eli, many years ago, we had a teacher in Flatbush, very dignified, educated woman. This was in the middle of the winter, and her car was parked, in the garage. You have to turn the car on, press a button. Remember, this is before today's emission. Today, the car in the morning, in the winter, a lot of. She turns the car on, she presses the button, and the door doesn't open. The car is on, and she starts to inhale the fume from and she felt dizzy. She was smart enough. She pressed on the gas and she broke the door. Her husband was addicted to gambling, knew that she has a life insurance. This is 40 years ago. $200,000. He was the one that made sure that the door doesn't open, hoping his wife would choke.
So, Rabbi Prague, I have to ask you, based on the discussion last night, did he really kill her? He only blocked the door?
Oh. Fortunately or unfortunately, in the Jewish code, you would not be put to death. You're right.
It's grandma.
No, we talked about this last night, and Eli, it was
100% is 100% right. Unfortunately,
Eli, your brain could do it. Last night at 9:45, Rabbi Prague was teaching this, and I'm saying, poor Rabbi Prague. I'm listening to this, and it's like a piece of like Rabbi Akiva with the water dripping on the rock. My brain is a rock, and nothing is going in. And I'm saying, why at 10:15 at night, my head was so.
I realized afterwards. Now I see it. I realized afterwards you're right.
It was very hard last night.
Right. When your brain has to really think, this is not the time to learn. You have to learn more cute stuff, like ice cream type of.
And when I went to sleep, I said, maybe next year my brain will not be able to hear this. Because every time I said this, I said, why does not my brain, it's a low collate that's there. It's just.
It's not only you. It's not only you. It's kacha.
Yeah, except Rabbi Prague. The problem is, to be honest, it's not only nighttime. You could teach it. You could have taught it to me my whole life since high school. And I hear these machlokas. What's the difference between the two? And I said, was I born without a brain? It's just so scary that I cannot. I mean, locolate. It said, locolate.
This is clear. I'm giving you an example. When I teach a class, it's very obvious. Are you good in math or not?
Depends. Well, let me put it like this. So not to be, brag, when I had a tutor in math and geometry and I got the regions, I got the score of the Lamatet Malachot. Does that tell you something? With a tutor, I thought my mother was going to kill me and the tutor.
No, but this is the answer. I have kids who are geniuses in math. But in other subjects, somehow, no, it's a
The
mavit.
brain works different.
No, better.
Yeah, but that's good, Rabbi Prague. You could say that when your brain is the one that's good at something. For the person who isn't, it's not such a good teretz. Verstehst du?
100%. I've used this as an excuse why I cannot really take a simple iPhone and learn. The excuse in my mind is okay, so I have two left hands.
So I told you a million times, I'll trade you my iPhone knowledge if you could teach me how to learn last night's Gemaras. Anytime you want to make the trade, Rabbi Prague, dollar for dollar, even Steven. You could be Michael on the iPhone. Trust me, you're much more ahead with all the other notes.
I am, and I'm Baruch. No, I have to realize it. Baruch Hashem. Eli, it was very nice seeing you. Are you
It's
okay?
good seeing you, Eli. Where are you, Eli?
I'm in Jersey.
Eli is in Jersey for the summer, which means
Yeah.
for you. Eli, were you affected by the flood last week?
No, luckily, nobody in my family drove their car into the water or anything like that.
Baruch Hashem.
The amount of people who lost their cars was crazy.
Yeah, because the cars were simply.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
Eli, you
good.
like the story as a landlord. So my uncle, he was an old timer, and it was raining one day on a Sunday. So the woman calls up on Monday, and she said, and then Monday was a beautiful day, and she's complaining that it was leaking, it was raining, and last day rain. So my uncle says to her, "Is it raining? Is it leaking today?" It wasn't leaking today, so yeah, because it was a nice day.
Yeah.
Listen, you're lucky. Water is the worst. Water is the worst.
Oh, absolutely. People worry about fires, but
You
but
can't
water.
stop water. You
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
stop the water.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful
Have a
day.
Thank
great
you,
day,
everybody.
everybody.
Great.
Enjoy your
Okay.
time, Eli.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy your
Goodbye.
summer.
Bye, Rabbi.